All right, let's dive into a story today. The story of Gautam Adani.
Oh.
Now, you might recognize that name as one of the richest guys on the planet, but his journey, it's really something.
Yeah.
Selling saris from a bicycle to
Interesting.
going toe-to-toe with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Talk about ambition.
It's incredible.
And resilience.
Yeah.
We're breaking down an article from Investor called, get this, The Rise of Gautam Adani. From Humble Beginnings to Business Tycoon.
Okay.
So we're going to figure out how he built this empire, how he did it, and what we can learn from it. What do you think?
Well, what I find really interesting about Adani is it kind of flips the whole rags to riches thing on its head.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he starts from humble beginnings.
Yeah.
Family of 9 in Gujarat, India. Wow. His father was a textile merchant, struggling.
Okay.
But it's how Adani handles these early struggles that really set him up for, all the success later on.
The article talks about how Adani's education got cut short because of money problems. He had to drop out of college.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think that would be a setback.
Yeah.
But it almost seems like it just made that entrepreneurial fire in him burn even brighter.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So at 18, he does this really bold thing. He just goes straight to Mumbai, the center of Indian commerce, all the hustle and bustle. Yeah. And he could have done anything.
Right.
But he chooses to work for Mahindra Brothers.
Okay.
Specifically, their diamond division.
Diamonds, okay.
It wasn't just about making money.
Right.
This was strategic. He was there to learn how trading works, all the little details of the market.
And he learned fast, right?
He was a quick study.
Yeah.
3 years later, he's 21.
Okay.
And he's starting his own diamond brokerage.
Wow.
The article even mentions his first commission.
Okay.
100,000 rupees.
100,000 rupees.
Which back then, in 1981, that was serious money.
That's huge, yeah. So clearly he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he had a knack for it.
Yeah.
And what's so interesting is that this whole diamond thing, it became the foundation for everything else he did.
Really?
He learned to negotiate. He understood how markets moved.
Right.
But most importantly, he got really good at spotting opportunities.
Okay.
And that leads us to 1985, where he makes this seemingly random move.
Okay.
Importing polyvinyl chloride.
Polyvinyl what?
PVC.
Oh, PVC. Okay.
For his brother's plastics factory.
Interesting. So why PVC and why then?
Well, that's where Adani's vision really shines. He saw that PVC, it was in high demand.
Okay.
India's plastics industry was booming. But even more important than that, this move, it coincided with a huge change in India.
Okay.
The early 1990s, economic liberalization.
Right.
India opens up to the world, less bureaucracy, embracing private enterprise. And Adani, he was ready.
He was right there, ready to take advantage.
He saw it coming.
So it's like he wasn't just riding the wave.
Right.
He was anticipating it, creating it almost.
Totally. And this all leads to him officially starting Adani Enterprises in 1988.
Adani Enterprises?
Yep. Commodities trading.
Okay.
Using his skills. Importing, exporting, understanding those global markets.
Makes sense.
But that was just the beginning.
Right.
He was thinking bigger.
Much bigger.
Much bigger.
And that brings us to the mid-90s, right? The Mundra Port.
Oh, yeah.
This is what really launches him into a whole different league.
The Mundra Port. It's a turning point.
Yeah.
Getting that tender to operate it.
Right.
It eventually becomes India's biggest private port.
Wow.
It was a brilliant move.
It must have been so hard. All that bureaucracy.
Oh, yeah.
Competition.
Huge vision.
Yeah. Decades into the future kind of vision.
Exactly.
It's amazing how that one project, the Mundra Port, becomes the foundation of the entire Adani group. It's like he goes from trader to infrastructure builder.
Yeah.
A tycoon.
Exactly. And it's not just about the port itself.
Okay.
He built a whole ecosystem around it. Power generation.
Okay.
So the port has reliable energy.
Smart.
Special economic zones next to it.
Oh, wow.
To attract businesses.
So he's not just building separate businesses, he's connecting them.
He's creating this
like
self-sustaining machine.
Yeah.
That's what sets him apart.
Right.
He's not just thinking short-term profit. He's building something that's going to last.
A legacy.
Yeah.
But it hasn't all been smooth sailing.
No.
The article talks about 1998 when he gets kidnapped.
Oh, wow.
Held for ransom. It's crazy to think.
Yeah.
Building these massive projects.
Right.
And then...
Scary stuff.
Yeah. Real danger.
Real risks.
It shows a different side to him, though, right?
It really does.
That resilience.
Remarkable.
Most people would, I don't know, back off after something like that.
You'd think so.
Play it safe.
Yeah.
But he just became even more determined.
Almost like it fueled him.
And then there's the 2008 Mumbai attacks. He was trapped in the Taj Hotel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You talk about testing your limits.
Intense.
He comes out of each of these things even stronger.
Yeah.
Like, he's not just surviving, he's thriving.
Yeah, it becomes a part of who he is as a businessman.
That resilience. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The guy builds ports and power plants.
Mm-hmm.
Like, practically entire cities.
Yeah.
And yet he stared down real danger.
It's interesting. It adds another layer to him.
Yeah, a complex guy for sure.
And that complexity carries over to his business dealings, too.
Right.
I mean, you can't deny his ambition, his drive.
Yeah.
But there's also controversy, allegations of, crony capitalism, worries about his political connections.
Yeah, the article touches on the 2022 Hindenburg Research Report. Some serious accusations there.
Yeah, it makes you think.
Like, alongside the huge successes, there are these shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Questions about how he achieved this incredible growth.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating. It's not just about celebrating his wins or, judging him for the allegations.
Yeah.
It's about understanding this mix of ambition, risk, resilience, and all those ethical complications that come with this kind of meteoric rise.
It reminds us that success, especially on this scale, isn't always black and white.
Right.
There are always different sides to the story.
Nuances, yeah.
Contradictions, challenge, it's all part of it. But we've got more to unpack, right?
Oh, yeah.
So stay tuned. When we come back, we're diving deep into what we can actually learn from Adani's story. The hard work, the calculated risks, and that tricky balance between ambition and its consequences.
Sounds good. You know what really strikes me about Adani?
Yeah.
It's that he, shatters this myth of overnight success.
Okay.
This isn't some lucky break.
Right.
This is years of hard work and just grabbing every opportunity he could.
Yeah, the article really emphasizes that his work ethic. This is someone who literally started out selling surreys on a bicycle.
Wow.
Yeah. Understanding the value of every single rupee that builds something in you. That grit, that determination, hard to replicate that.
And then that turns into those calculated risks he takes.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to make big moves, but he's always thinking it through.
Right.
He understands the market.
It's not gambling, it's strategic.
Exactly. He's using his knowledge and his experience.
Like that decision to go all in on renewable energy.
Oh, yeah.
Some people thought that was crazy.
It was a big risk.
Especially with India relying so heavily on coal and all that.
Yeah.
Turned out to be brilliant.
Totally. He knew the world was moving towards cleaner energy. And India, they have all that sun and wind. It's perfect.
So it wasn't just about profit.
Right.
It was about seeing a need.
A bigger picture.
A global need, almost.
Yeah. And it paid off.
Big time.
Yeah.
So our listeners, what can they take away from this?
Oh, there's a lot.
Obviously, not everyone's going to build $1 billion company.
Probably.
But there are things we can learn from Adani's journey.
For sure. I think a big one is being adaptable.
Okay.
Adani's career, it's all over the place.
In a good way.
Yeah. Diamonds, plastics, ports, power, now renewable energy. He wasn't afraid to change, to learn new things and jump into new sectors.
Just kept evolving.
Totally. Always staying ahead of the game.
It's like success isn't this finish line.
Right.
It's this constant, moving target.
Always changing.
And it's not just the business side, it's that personal resilience too.
Yeah.
Adani faced so many setbacks, challenges, even threats.
And he never gave up.
Kept pushing forward.
Amazing. Really. I mean, look at his response to adversity.
Yeah.
He doesn't just break down under pressure.
He uses it.
It gets stronger.
It's almost like it fuels him even more.
Whether it's the kidnapping, the Mumbai attacks.
Right, or all those recent controversies with his businesses.
Yeah, he always finds a way to come out on top.
Powerful lesson there. For anyone with big goals, there are going to be ups and downs.
For sure.
Got to be able to handle them.
Definitely.
The article actually quotes Adani saying,
oh, yeah.
Success is not just about what you accomplish in your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's about what you inspire others to do.
Wow.
It's like he's thinking bigger than just himself.
Yeah, it's about creating a legacy, making a difference.
And he has, in India, his investments in infrastructure, energy, logistics.
Already impact.
Creating jobs, boosting the economy, connecting different parts of the country.
Totally. He's played a key role in India's growth.
But we got to acknowledge the other side of things too, right?
Yeah.
Allegations of crony capitalism, the environmental concerns, the questions about his business practices.
That's where things get tricky.
Yeah.
It's about looking at ambition and success, particularly in a place like India, with fresh eyes. Thinking about the ethics of rapid growth and how that balances with social responsibility.
It makes you realize progress isn't always pretty. There's often a cost.
And with success, like Adani's, there are always going to be controversies, criticisms.
The Hindenburg Report, even though Adani fought against it, it raised those questions about transparency, about how his businesses are run.
Yeah, that's the heart of the issue, right?
I think so.
How do we reconcile all of these amazing things he's done with those serious accusations?
It's not simple.
It's about understanding the whole picture.
And maybe even questioning what success really means.
Especially when you're talking about this kind of scale.
It's a lot to think about, but we've got one more part to go.
Can't wait.
We'll be back to explore all this, the legacy of Gautam Adani.
Okay.
And what it all means for us. It's interesting how Adani's story, runs parallel with India's own economic growth.
Yeah.
He's often seen as a symbol of India's rise. Like a poster child for their entrepreneurial spirit. That potential to be a global powerhouse.
Oh, absolutely. Adani's journey, it really does reflect how India's economy has changed.
Yeah.
He came up during that time of liberalization, deregulation.
Right.
When the markets opened up, he was there.
Ready to seize those opportunities.
Exactly. And then his investments.
Yeah.
Infrastructure, energy, logistics, they all fit perfectly with India's goals.
Right.
More jobs, industrial growth, better connections across the country.
But then you have his political connections, the way he gets these big contracts. His business is growing so fast.
Yeah.
It's led to those accusations of crony capitalism, right? Makes you question the fairness of it all.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Adani's story, it kind of forces us to confront the realities of doing business in these emerging economies.
Okay.
Where knowing the right people, it matters.
Yeah.
It's about looking at the ethics of it all. Those close relationships, the potential conflicts of interest.
And then the Hindenburg Report comes out.
Right. Even though Adani disputed it, it brought all those concerns into the spotlight.
We need more transparency.
Absolutely.
Accountability, not just for Adani, but for businesses in India in general.
I think the report, regardless of whether it was entirely accurate or not, it sparked a really important conversation about how companies are governed, transparency, the balance between ambition and doing things the right way.
And it raised questions about the media, too.
Yeah.
Investigative journalism. Holding powerful people accountable.
Especially in a world that's changing so quickly.
Right. So we've gone deep into the world of Gautam Adani.
It's been a journey.
Full of twists and turns.
For sure.
As we wrap this up, what are some of the big things you want our listeners to walk away with?
Well, Adani's story, it shows us just how powerful ambition, drive, and resilience can be.
Yeah.
You can achieve incredible things. It's about thinking strategically, adapting to change, and not letting opportunities pass you by.
But it's also a cautionary tale, right?
Oh.
About what can happen when ambition goes unchecked. Those ethical dilemmas, the need for transparency and accountability.
Especially when you're dealing with these complex systems.
Yeah. Political, economic, it all ties together.
Adani's legacy, it's still being written.
I guess it's true.
He's had a huge impact on India.
Definitely.
But there are still those controversies hanging over him.
It's a complicated story.
It makes us think about what success really means.
Right.
The price of ambition and finding that balance.
Yeah, economic growth and ethical behavior.
It's a tough one.
It is. And for our listeners, we'll leave you with this thought.
Okay.
Adani, he's still facing challenges. He's still got opportunities in front of him.
Yeah.
So how will his story unfold from here? What will his legacy ultimately be? Something to think about as we watch this remarkable and, yes, controversial figure